We're good? Okay, I'm gonna read this letter.
Oh, hi. So you want to know about me and Alejandro. Um, well, as best I can, I'd like to tell this story as chronologically as possible. So I'd have to start at the beginning. When we first met, we were students in the African American Studies Department at Eastern Michigan University. Now, just to put this into perspective, I might look like a really put together person before you right now, but I assure you that's not what Alejandro encountered when we first met. I was angry and bitter, just coming to grips with the reality of Christ's calling on my life, God's desire for me to be living a life that's more closely resembling to the life of a Christian. And I just recently rededicated my life, but there were still a lot of things about me that were, let's say, rough around the edges. So when I met Alejandro, it was such a blessing because I needed a Christian friend. I had some friends from before I rededicated my life to the Lord. And these were friends who, before I made the changes, or the Lord made the changes in my life, who had said, "Man, I'd die for you." They said, "I would die for you." They said, "Corn, I would die for you." Little did I know that all it took was for me to stop smoking, drinking, and partying, and all of a sudden, these same guys that would die for me were gone. But Ale was there. The Lord placed him in my life right when He knew that I needed him. And he was such an encouragement to me. We talked about everything, and we got to know each other. We talked about relationships. We talked about growing up in the church as a PK. We talked about social injustice, and then we talked about dumb stuff that made us laugh. And it was a great experience getting to know someone who was saved, living a life of integrity, without compromising, but also enjoyed life and had fun.
Paper Airplanes and Umbrellas, July 5th, 2013. I think this title beautifully sums up these past 2 weeks. As I write this, I'm listening to Jason Upton's Beyond the Window, and certain parts are sticking out to me at this moment. Look beyond the window. There's a sky above. I will give you power that you've never known as you wait on me. I will never leave you. I'm hearing patience, and I look beyond where you are at to your future because it's near. At least that is what I hear right now. But what this song also makes me think of is the beautiful random moments we have shared. For instance, the paper airplanes. How you fold paper into objects without even knowing it. It made me think of how skillful your hands are, and yet how it is so a part of you that it's just what you do. The paper airplanes remind me of our wonderful conversations in the coffee shop, both times. They also made me think of how you are soaring through the doors of favor that God has placed before you, and how I am so blessed to experience those moments with you.
And this was, I like to think, the beginning of the walk that the Lord still has me on today. And it's been a blessing. Every moment, every opportunity that we've had to hang out, the road trips. I mean, I could tell you some stories. By the way, if you ever wondered what the Bee Gees would sound like if they sung gospel, me and Ale have basically recorded that album. So hit me up later on if you want to hear that. But just the funny things that we talk about, and then the serious moments where he's spoken gospel truth into my life and encouraged me in times where I felt like giving up. And we've been able to have this exchange where it started with me wanting to get to know the Lord better and struggling with the social aspect of starting my friendships over, and then meeting Ale, and then meeting a bunch of other brothers who, together we became like each other's support system. We became, a tight-knit group of guys who were, committed to, living a life for the Lord through the adversities of being young, broke, and single, and just being an encouragement to one another. And then as life progressed, things changed. We finished undergrad. I moved away from the metro area and moved to northern Oakland County. And our relationship has remained strong, and it's a testament to the love of Christ that has, brought us together in the first place. That through marriage and child one and child two, I could still call Ale my very best friend.
The umbrellas, the moments where we jokingly talk about how I wasn't covering you fully in the rain, which is still up for debate. Even within the joke, there was a message. How God has you covered through all of the beautiful and new things He is doing, and on my end, the reminding of being a covering. What I'm trying to say is, thank you for the beautiful random moments. Thank you for the paper airplanes, those moments that I got to see you and see your heart. Thank you for letting me be honest and share my heart, my ups and downs. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your time with me. It meant and means more to me than I could ever express. Thank you for challenging me to speak what I mean, for asking why. Lastly, thank you for being patient with me, for not giving up on our friendship, and for texting me. Smiley face. I don't know if you remember this, but a few years ago I shared with you how women were like roses. How that if you rushed them, if we as men were impatient, ultimately we would cause them to bruise and wilt. However, if we were patient and waited for them to develop and bloom, a man would enjoy their fragrance. Well, I've come to realize that I had been impatient and that I attempted to rush the blossoming of roses that were never for me to have. Their fragrance or their heart was not for me to experience. With you, it was different. You were always that rose. You always carried the scent of virtue, yet I didn't realize it at the time. I'll even say that you were patient with me and knew that I had to bloom and develop more. But that can be another conversation. But my point right now is this. Thank you for being a rose. Thank you for allowing me to experience some of your fragrance, your heart. I cherish it, value it, and am protective of all you have shared with me. Ashley, it's no secret that I like you. I like you a lot. A little bit more than like you now. But I cherish your walk with the Lord more than anything. I don't say that I like you to stake a claim on you or anything. You wouldn't allow it anyways. LOL. But I just want you to know where I stand with what I feel towards you. I'm going to miss you tremendously, and I still don't want you to leave. But in the big picture, it's not my will being done anyways, is it? Plus, you'll be back. Smiley face.
We're not living as close to each other as we used to, but he's played a major role in every event in my life, from being the best man at my wedding, to being there when both my children were born. My son even, had a middle name in homage to my best friend. My son's name is Cornelius Alejandro Godfrey. Now, you tell me that's not a significant name. He's going to do great things.
You smell good too, man. Ow! God dang.
What'd he do?
You threw up on
me. So I just thank God for allowing me to be a part of my brother Alejandro's journey and allowing him to be a part of mine. And I'm grateful that I'm a part of this celebration. Happy birthday, Ale. Love you, bro.
I'm praying for you, standing with you, and covering you all the way. With all my love, Alejandro, a.k.a. Mr. Woods, a.k.a. Ale B, a.k.a. Two Phones, because I can. Yes, sir.
Not bad, was it?
Not at all.